Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. President Muhammadu Buhari has left South Africa on his way back home after marketing Nigeria at the ongoing Intra-African Trade Fair now underway in Durban. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president was seen off at King Shaka International Airport, Durban, by a high-powered South African government delegation. Also at the airport were the ministers of Foreign Affairs, Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as Director General, National Intelligence Agency. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, described the president's outing in Durban as successful.
To sign the treaty establishing African Continental Free Trade Organization, the president has taken a decision to take very early steps in order to see to the actualization of the aspirations of not only the Nigerian government and people, but particularly our own businesses. And as you can see, there's a great deal of enthusiasm on the part of Nigerian businesses to take full advantage of this largest free trade organization known anywhere in the world. It is such a shame that between themselves, African countries trade only at the level of 15%. Globally, Africa controls only 3% of world trade. This is not good enough. So President Buhari has led the Nigerian delegation with a lot of expectation. As a promoter of Nigerian economy, as a salesman, in order to market opportunities that are available in Nigeria for the rest of Africa. The last fair of this type that took place in Cairo, Nigerian businesses netted in deals worth more than 3.3 billion US dollars. We are hoping that in Durban, South Africa, Nigerian businesses will surpass that achieved target.
The Nigerian economy is set for effective growth and job creation with a renewed focus on digital economy, significant value addition in agriculture, other sectors including oil and gas, while boosting productivity generally. There would also be specific attention to review trade policies that are rather too broad and expand the supply sides in revenues, foreign exchange and electricity. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo made these disclosures during a virtual interaction at the World Economic Forum Country Strategy Dialogue on Nigeria. The Vice President explained that the cornerstone of government strategy is boosting productivity by focusing on value addition as a guiding principle for all sectors. Speaking on the new National Development Plan, Vice President Osinbajo noted that the new strategic direction will enable the country achieve a GDP growth rate that is higher than the rate of growth of the population and enable more social inclusion. In its introductory report on the strategy dialogue on Nigeria, the World Economic Forum noted the response of the federal government to the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic, saying the Nigerian government reacted swiftly with a COVID-19 crisis intervention fund and a stimulus package of 2.33 trillion as part of the economic sustainability plan, which boosted its economic growth and helped the country exit recession. And now to legislative matters. Senate is to investigate the diplomatic conflict between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, which is alleged to have resulted in the denial of work permits renewal for Nigerians through a motion by the minority leader of the Senate, Yinaya Abaribe. The Senate was bothered that over 100 Nigerians living in the United Arab Emirates have allegedly lost their jobs due to the refusal of the UAE authorities to renew their work permits. The Senate mandated its Committee on Foreign Affairs, Interior, and the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 to meet the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on how to resolve the dispute in the interests of both countries.
The refusal of the UAE authorities to renew the work permit for Nigerians living there is a calculated attempt to pressure the Nigerian government into accepting their conditions of service for their national airline that may have lost a lot of revenue from the Nigerian route.
Mandate the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Presidential Task Force, PTF, on COVID-19 and National Security and Intelligence and Interior Immigration Service, respectively, to interface with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and National Intelligence Agency, NIA, on best ways of resolving this crisis. I report back to the Senate within 2 weeks.
Nigeria and the Niger Republic have signed a memorandum of understanding to end big wave of illegal migration from Sahara to Europe. Foreign desk correspondent Usman Aliyu reports that commitment is the first of its kind in West Africa and indeed the Africa continent.
Nigerians, the innocent and the mischievous, join journeys in desperation to go to other parts of the world, dreaming a luxurious life. In the journey, they dare the dreaded horrors of the desert and ended to get to places they never imagined. In war situations, that is how some of them are gone forever. For far too long, Nigeria battles to tackle human trafficking. That is how Nigeria and Niger bring up a new and better commitment, as the two good neighbors are affected by the crime. The Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and her Nigerian counterpart, ANLTP, headed by Ousmane Mamane, formalized the crusade. They signed 17 articles to prevent and prosecute human trafficking.
Nigeria has the highest number of nationals in transit in Niger because of the porous land border between Nigeria and Niger.
The Dutch government facilitated the deal through International Center for Migration Policy Development.
We are grateful for the fruitful collaboration ICMPD has enjoyed with the government of Nigeria as well as the government of Niger.
The MOU underlines the commitment to the implementation of ECOWAS Plan of Action against Trafficking in Persons, as well as follow-up on some various international conventions on this issue.
In a nation of over 200 million, trafficking of persons, it is a task. And with your support, we can overcome this.
Envoys from Austria, Italy, Japan and Namibia say they are better guided with the pact to support Nigeria and Niger for the success of the new war against illegal migration and human trafficking. Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has issued a 3-week ultimatum to the federal government over failure to fulfill lingering demands. ASU National President, who announced the ultimatum in Abuja, decried the failure of the federal government to attend to the needs of the union, which has left them with no choice. Recalls that the federal government had signed a memorandum of understanding with the unions last year, promising to fulfill demands ranging from payment of earned allowances, introduction of the UTAS platform for university workers, payment of revitalization fund for universities, among others. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to do all within its powers to stop the impending strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. The issue raised by Representative Julius Iwobere on the matters of urgent public importance elicited comments from lawmakers as they called on government to open a realistic negotiation with ASU towards the implementation of the already signed agreement. The House noted that ASU is not asking for anything new, but the implementation of the December 2020 agreement reached with government. Industrial action in the education sector, House members pointed not only disrupts academic activities, but also has implication on national development. In another development, the House has set up an ad hoc committee to interface with relevant government agencies over the alleged unfair treatment meted on Nigerians by United Arab Emirates as moved by Minority Leader Ndudi Elumelu. And this is Nationwide. Just is next, and Zinred is standing by.
Hello, welcome to Lagos. Informa, we're now in Lagos. 5 bodies were recovered from a gas explosion that occurred in the early hours of Tuesday around Ojekunle in Ladipo Market. A Bolade Salami reports that eyewitness account says the explosion is as a result of negligence on the part of a cylinder engineer.
Ever-busy Ladipo Market stood still for some hours to give room for emergency responders to put out the fire caused by a gas explosion. The unfortunate incident, according to eyewitness accounts, was caused by an explosion of a cylinder being worked upon by an artisan some few meters to a woman frying bean cake.
I was taking my beat, I just had the explosion suddenly. So I just had to take my risk, just risk my own life first before even checking on any other people.
Thank God for this fire exclusion, they come in time. Both Solo own and Kappa own, they try the best here.
Swift response by a combined team of emergency responders helped salvage the situation from escalating.
See, what matters most is for the general public to allow the specialists, to do what they know doing best. Overcrowding the scene of emergency cannot help situation.
With what is happening now these days, we are going to sit down again with state and federal agencies to re-strategize to stop the occurrence in the state.
In the meantime, the 3 shops and some shanties affected by the fire has been cordoned off as normal business activities return to the market. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The Judicial Panel on Inquiry on Restitution for Victims of Abuses by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and other related matters has submitted its report to the Lagos State Government. Musa Toliat reports that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has constituted a committee to look into the report and come back with a white paper that will be adopted by the State Executive Council in 2 weeks.
The panel had the mandate to attend to petitions on various human rights abuses and make recommendations on how to forestall a recurrence of the destructive protest.
We were able to dispose of 152 at full hearing. We had some which came with judgments for enforcement, which we have made appropriate recommendations in respect thereof.
Thereafter, Governor Sanwo-Olu constituted a 4-member committee led by the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Moyoshiri Onigbanjo.
The 4 of them will very, very quickly look through and bring forward a white paper within the next 2 weeks that will be considered at the Lagos State Executive Council and will be gazetted as a white paper coming from the panel of inquiry. I therefore receive this report of the panel and reassure you that the recommendations made shall be treated in accordance with the powers conferred in me as further enshrined in Section 15 of the Tribunal and Inquiry Law of Lagos State 2015.
One of the fallouts of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry is the establishment of a body to take over human rights abuse cases in Lagos State. Musa Toliat, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's take a short break now. Nationwide continues with Gabriel in Port Harcourt shortly.
The 7th Annual Safe School Conference of Education and Security Leaders on Lessons from Past Emergencies holds from 22nd to 25th November 2021 at Green Minds Hotel, Utako, Abuja. This event will be declared open by the special guest of honor, Honorable Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, Honorable Minister of State Education. Facilitated and supported by Ministry of Education, UNESCO, Nigerian Police, Nigerian Army, NSCDC, NDLEA, FRSC, Federal Fire Service, NEMA, National Human Rights Commission, NCC, NUT, Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, and NTA. Organized by Exam Ethics Marshals International. For further details, please visit our website, examethicsmarshals.org/safeschools, or call 0803-342-5958.
The Budweiser Game of Kings is finally here. Watch the battles to beat all battles live. La Liga's Roberto Carlos and Premier League's John Terry will be going head-to-head while playing alongside our very own MPFL players. So come join us on NTA Network and Budweiser's social media network on Saturday, November 20th at exactly 12 p.m.
Niger, it's on. Game of Kings is brought to you by Budweiser, the official sponsors of the EPL and La Liga.
Amended Electoral Act 2021, plus other incidentals to electoral matters in Nigeria. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, every week on Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
One country, one peaceful people, united in diversity.
We are great Nigerians.
Let's be peaceful. We refuse to be manipulated by desperados and instigators.
We cannot succeed without your cooperation.
A peaceful and united Nigeria is possible. Join us in one voice, one love and unity. As we march around the 36 states of Nigeria, including the FCT,
For national peace
and unity campaign to tackle it.
Babban taro na Najeriya domin dawo da soyayya a tsakanin 'yan Najeriya.
When the power of love overcomes the love for power.
For our country, Nigeria.
Together we stand.
This message is brought to you by the ambassadors of Voice of Change Initiative, supported by Nigerian Television Authority NTA and Federal Capital Territory FCT.
Come to Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Police Force Eastern Port Command has paraded 5-man gang who engaged in the vandalization of queer aprons and stealing of weights at the Port Harcourt and Calabar ports. Commissioner of Police Evelyn Peterside, while parading the suspects, assured investors of adequate security at the ports. Robinson Deratede has the details of this report.
Since 2014, the 8 beds at the Port Harcourt port and some others at the Onne port have been vandalized, resulting in the total collapse of bed 8 and near collapse of bed 7, thereby disrupting shipping activities at the ports. The Nigerian police, acting on credible information, on the 8th of November 2021, arrested 2 suspected vandals allegedly cutting NPA wharf steel beam underneath the quay apron, valued at over 20 million naira. Items recovered from the suspects include 2 industrial gas cylinders, spinels, and particles of rusted iron fillings used for operations.
We don't know what is the craze about iron. They have done so much damage. This port, and any other port for that matter, is very important for the economy of the country. And to alert the communities that are around here that it is in your interest that these things are not destroyed.
Similarly, 23 bags of weight stolen from the terminals, valued at over 150,000 naira, were also recovered, with 3 suspects arrested in connection to the crime, while 2 other suspects and a truck loaded with 39 kg of weight, valued at over 6.8 million naira, was also recovered at the Calabar port and returned to the owner.
In Onne port, we have been able to recover a lot of diverted containers. You know, there are a lot of containers come, recover and release on bond to the owners.
The suspects will be arraigned in court after investigations. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
The cardinal responsibility of any elected government is to provide a peaceful and secured environment where socio-economic development can thrive. However, in some parts of Calabar, especially at Lemna by Ikot Efang in Calabar Municipal, this has not been the case in recent times, as residents are raising alarm over incessant kidnapping while calling on governments to provide adequate security for the citizenry. Justin Item reports.
A peaceful and secured environment is essential for any sphere of development to thrive, as it impacts on every aspect of human life. Though Calabar has witnessed relative calm for some time now due to operations of the Joint Security Task Force, codenamed Operation Akbaku, crimes are resurfacing in the metropolis again, with residents of Lemna Road being the worst hit.
2 weeks ago, they carried almost 6 people. So we have not heard whether those people are alive or they are dead.
And I've been hearing of other kidnapping around. So I think the security here needs to be built up.
The community is surrounded by waterways, which makes it easy for kidnappers to attack their victims, and residents are now calling on the Nigerian Navy and government to ensure adequate surveillance of the waterways.
A lot of things, a lot of transactions from the waterways. So if they have their base, it will help to curtail most of this insecurity.
In all of this, what is the Cross River State government doing to stem the tide of insecurity?
We are reading what? Criminal hideouts in the state. Even those ones that happened, the 6 people that are kidnapped, what the security agencies have put in place has made it no way for so security tight that there can't be any repeat of such again.
As the festive period draws closer, experts are advising residents to be more vigilant in Calabar. Justina Etem, NTA News.
That's all from Port Harcourt. It's now over to you, Ifama, in Abuja.
Thank you very much. Now to security matters. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the latest massacre of 15 people in Goronyo and Ilela local government areas of Sokoto State, warning that the needless and mindless violence against innocent people cannot go unpunished. A statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari noted that persistent and unprovoked violence against unarmed civilians must be met with fierce response as government is taking delivery of military equipment to improve the capacity of security forces to effectively deal with the issue. In a counter-offensive, troops of Operation Hardenke have eliminated more than 50 Islamic States of West African province terrorists in Askira, Uba local government area of Borno State. A statement by the Army spokesperson, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, says top commanders of the terrorists also met their Waterloo, while several gun trucks and other heavy equipment were destroyed. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has paid a condolence visit to the families of the late Commander 28 Task Force Brigade, Brigadier General Zama Zurkusu, and 3 other soldiers. Late Brigadier General Zurkusu and 3 soldiers paid the supreme prize while on operation in Askira, Uba, Borno State on 13th November 2021. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army is appreciative of the support of the government and people of Kano State towards maintaining peace and security in the state. General Officer Commanding 1 Mechanized Division, Major General Kabir Mukhtar, gave this indication when he visited the State Deputy Governor Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
Major General Kabir Mukhtar, who commands the 1 Division of the Nigerian Army since August this year, came to Kano as part of ongoing tour of area of responsibility to strengthen synergy with relevant stakeholders. Kano, he stated, is experiencing less security concerns as a result of support and cooperation its government and people are given to the army and other security agencies. He noted with appreciation how community members are providing useful information that help in tackling many security threats. The GOC also thanked Kano State government for the logistic support to the 3 Brigade and construction of military training ground in Falgora Forest.
It helped us to go away, far away from people's attention and to reduce interference.
All equipment and logistics that are needed, we try and make sure that those issues have been captured at the right time.
The Deputy Governor assured of continued support to the Nigerian Army's routine and special operations in Kano State. Abdullah Mustafa, NTA News.
Abubakar is standing by for more reports from our Maiduguri Network Center. Hello, Abubakar.
It's always good to see you, Ifoma, and thank you for joining us. Good health is a fundamental human right whose realization requires action of government and non-governmental organizations. It is in line with this that the senator representing Southern Borno, Senator Mohammed Ali Ndumi, organized free medical checkup and treatment targeting 5,000 internally displaced persons and host communities in Borno State. Pauline Kujevana has more details of the story.
In line with the post-insurgency recovery program and resettlement of internally displaced persons back home, efforts are being made to ensure good health for the potential returnees and host communities, improving the health status of the displaced persons occasioned by the Boko Haram insurgency to complement the normal healthcare service delivery in the internally displaced persons camps was initiated by Senator Mohammed Ali Ndumi. This time, the health support saw the engagement of external professionals from doctors on the move in Africa, targeting elderly, children, and pregnant women, as well as cases requiring surgical treatment.
He's a good Samaritan. Therefore, let him keep up with what he's doing, because we know he's a senator for the Talakawas.
Shakara nawa ina fama da fibroids wannan a cikina. Ya ubangijin Allah ya mishi daukaka.
Team leader of the Doctors on the Move in Africa, Dr. Joseph Haruna Kigbo, revealed that IDPs with different kind of ailments are being attended to, as special consideration is being given to people with eye problems.
Those who also need basic medical checkup, blood work, malaria tests, typhoid tests, hepatitis tests, HIV tests. Even for the elderly, those who will need a prostatic screen, we have capacity to do PSA even in the field.
The exercise will last for 4 days, targeting 5,000 persons in 2 major IDP camps of Bakassi and Gubio, in addition to host communities in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Over 8,500 returnees in Baga, Doro, and Cross Kawa of Kuka local government have benefited from cash and food distribution, courtesy of Borno state government. The gesture is coming 3 months after their resettlement back in their ancestral homes around the shores of the Lake Chad. Jadwa John Jesney completes the story.
Among the 8,640 beneficiaries are 5,000 males who received a bag of rice and maize grits each, while 3,640 females were given 5,000 naira cash. To them, this is a great sigh of relief as they prepare to resume their various livelihood activities. The resettlement committee, headed by Borno State Attorney General Barrister Kakashe Hulon, were in the area to fulfill the promise made by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum 3 months ago.
We are with those concerned as regards security to map out a strategy of embarking on a clearance operation of the waterways so that the full-scale fishing activities would commence soon.
These people are now happily living with their families, both in Cross Kawa, in Baga, as well as in Doro.
Borno State government, in collaboration with development partners, have also flagged off back-to-school campaign in the area.
We enroll about 423 students, both male and female.
The committee appreciated efforts of the Nigerian Army, particularly the 19th Brigade and 401 Special Forces Brigade, as well as other security agencies, for the efforts in securing and providing the returnees with medical services. In Maiduguri, Jedwa John Jessini, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on Africa's window to the world, the Nigerian Television Authority. It's now time to return to Ifoma in Abuja to bring us the next set of reports on Nationwide this evening. So, Ifoma.
Thank you, Abubakar. Now, as the 2021 National Festival of Arts and Culture continues in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, the message of peace and unity the nation deserves were reflected through some of the activities on the center stage. Ayodeji Ogunshaki has an update on the festival tagged Ekiti NAFest 2021.
The cause for national unity was exhibited by the various states through drama, which is one of the focus of the National Festival for Arts and Culture. Different displays through drama at the Civic Center, one of the venues of the festival, were on the center stage as participating states emphasized the message of peace and national unity. The various factors which could be responsible for violence agitations, disaffection, lack of love and disunity were expressed, but they were emphatic on the need to come together and address any challenge for the sake of the nation Nigeria and for the labor of our past heroes not to be in vain.
Our founding fathers fought so hard and gave their lives. Let us stop this fight. Forgive one another.
The game of Ayolokon, the traditional board game, was also featured as many participating states displayed their worth and equally reflected the message of friendship which the game teaches.
It is our interest to continue to reawaken our consciousness to what makes this country tick in the early years.
Actions continue in the National Festival of Arts and Culture, which will come to an end on Saturday this week. From Ado-Ekiti, Ayodeji Ogunshaki, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Dr. Saad Abubakar, today inaugurates a multi-million naira ultra-modern Islamic center in Oyo State. The Sultan, who was accompanied by many Islamic leaders and scholars from across the country, commended the initiative of the construction of the Islamic center. He emphasized the need for unity of Nigerians generally, adding that fairness and justice should prevail in all endeavors. Thousands of worshippers from different parts of the country had turned to the center for the inauguration. The United Kingdom government has launched a new urban climate action program to support cities and regions in developing countries most impacted by climate change to accelerate their transition to net zero. Backed with 27.5 million euros, the transition to net zero will drive leveling up across the countries while supporting communities towards a greener future. The initiative will also provide opportunities for economic growth and delivering new green jobs for local people. UK's Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos, Ben Jones, said the initiative will support Lagos State and other developing cities to achieving low-emission public transport systems, renewable energy generation, and climate risk planning. The UK government says it is committed to achieving the goal of net zero emissions by 2050. The civil service will always play a strategic role in the development of any country, and it is when every Nigerian resolves to be the change they want to see that a nation will be fully reformed. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi-Esan, said this at the official presentation of a book titled Agents of Change in Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
This book, Agents of Change, takes readers through the journey of self-discovery of their talents, abilities and gifts, as well as their identity, calling, potentials, and missions. Olusegun Olasade has been an author of many books, but this time around, his two books, Agents of Change and Leadership Dilemma 101, he said were written to address some of the leadership and followership challenges Nigeria is currently facing. Experts in the field of leadership and training who formed a panel of discussion submitted that an agent of change is God's tool to do good work and that everyone is created to make a change.
Every man loves to be in charge of something,
But the question is this: do we all have what it takes to be in charge?
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemiesan, said the central message in the book is in tandem with the aspirations of government through the civil service.
We must institute systems, structures that will last forever in Nigeria. It's a Herculean task, I must tell you, but it is a task that we must do.
For you to become an agent of change, three things need to come together: vision, leadership, and strategy. And there needs to be ownership. So what this book talks about is everybody, no matter how young or how old, can be an agent of change.
The book suggests that it is time to rise in these desperate times that need desperate measures, championed by only those who realize and understand that they are born and bred to lead. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Nigerians and indeed the global community look on you to drive leadership change at every level of your engagement after this 1 month. These were the words of the Chairman Governing Board of Nigerian Prize for Leadership, Professor Anya O. Anya, at the opening of the second edition of the MPL Ambassadors Leadership Program. Haman Jabani reports.
The critical role youth play in nation building underscores the essence of initiating the Ambassadors Leadership Program last year to raise and groom a new generation of exceptional leaders from across the country. The program is designed to strengthen the moral, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual aspects of the participants.
By the time all these are aggregated after 4 weeks, surely products of this program will be better for the institutions, for the environment, and for Nigeria at large.
We'll be able to transform and impact lives, and that's what they're trying to do to us, and I'm expecting to be a transform leader at the end of the program also.
The 1 month training, with the team raising a credible successor generation, is expected to provide the participants with an understanding of Nigeria's history in the context of national vision and applying the lessons towards the emergence of a new Nigeria.
Economic challenges, political abracadabra, and what have you. Now, we have brought you in here to train you to be part of the solution.
We as leaders, we are saying to you, the process we are putting in place, if you follow it and you move, you will go far. Because some of us, we didn't have the benefit of what you are having today.
If we don't start now to build this new generation, it will never happen that we have good leaders. Good leaders don't just happen. You have to train them. You have to groom them.
Director General Nigerian Television Authority, who was represented, and other speakers commended the MPL for the initiative and called on the participants to make best use of the opportunity.
Without leadership, we can't fix this country. So that's why NTA is interested in this issue. Whenever there is issue like this, NTA is ready to participate and give the necessary cooperation.
They will take over leadership whether you prepare them or you don't. So it is in our own enlightened interest to ensure that they are prepared before they take over, so that when they take over, they are not going to be at sea.
50 youths are participating in the second edition of the MPL Ambassadors Leadership Training. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
It's now time to join Zinret in our Just Network Center for more on Nationwide. Over to you, Zinret.
Reformer, welcome to JOS. Plateau State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps says it will sustain its awareness until the level of road crashes is reduced to its barest minimum. The Corps commander stated this during a media interaction in JOS as part of activities commemorating World Day for the Remembrance of Road Traffic Crash Victims. Salo Abdurrahman Mohammed reports.
The media interaction has become necessary as it affords road managers the opportunity to review their performance and chart the way forward. The command expresses concern over the devastation caused by road crashes, urging road users to continue to observe basic rules on the highway.
The emphasis is on speed, because speed has been responsible for most of the road traffic crashes recently. So we're encouraging people to obey the speed limits.
The commandant says his men will continue to sensitize motorists on the advantages of speed limiting device.
Commercial vehicles must have speed limiting device installed in them, and that is the enforcement we are carrying out. very soon it will get to the private vehicles too, where the person wants to disobey, the vehicle will force him to obey. Because as much as he accelerates, if there is that device, the vehicle will not move. It will only remain within the speed limit.
While calling on motorists to ensure their vehicles are roadworthy, the commandant also advised appropriate authorities to rehabilitate roads in deplorable conditions. The theme for the year's day is Top Speed. In Jos, Salau Abdurrahman Mohammed, NTA News.
Professor of Pediatrics and Nephrology, University of Jos, Isaac Ocheke, says cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death globally, calling on stakeholders to make concerted efforts and find workable solutions to them. This was at the 8th Professor Alfred Ikeme Foundation lecture held at the Jos University Teaching Hospital. The report.
The lecture, titled Mitigating Cardiovascular Diseases in the Adult, Nurturing the Child's Kidney, seeks to address the burden of cardiovascular diseases being a global health concern. The professor says about 2 decades ago, majority of the deaths from cardiovascular diseases occurred in high-income countries, while the vast of deaths in low-income countries were attributable to communicable diseases. However, a drastic transition has taken place in the last few years, such that the greatest number of deaths from the diseases now occur in low-income countries.
Those who have stage 1 to 3 CKD have a significantly higher incidence of cardiovascular events than those in the normal population.
The timing for Professor Ocheke's lecture is apt, as the prevalence of cardiovascular disease and kidney disease and their complications among the pediatric and adult population are increasing at an alarming rate in Nigeria and worldwide.
Chief Medical Director JUTH, Professor Edmond Banwach, represented, lauded the scholarly lecture and pledged the hospital's support for researches that will boost the operations of the health system. Goodwill messages came from various quarters, reminiscing on Professor Ikeme's life and time as the first professor of medicine, University of Jos, and also the first medical director of JUTH.
And that's it from Jos. Ifoma, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Zinret. We conclude nationwide at this point. To enable us join our sports desk for the much-awaited football match between Nigeria and Cape Verde in the World Cup qualifier in Lagos. Enjoy the match.
Sabemos que a Nigéria é uma equipa forte pelo percurso que tem feito, pelo tamanho do país, mas estamos também preparados para fazer um bom jogo e ambicionar a vitória.
All right, so Nigeria has some of the strongest goal scorers in Europe. There is Victor Osimhen, there's Kelechi Iheanacho, and we also know that you conceded a goal against Central African Republic. How prepared are your defense to take care of the Nigerian striker force?
Nós preparamos a equipa toda. A equipa defende como um bloco. Sabemos dos jogadores, dos avançados que são da Nigéria, que são do nível mundial, mas nós também, a nossa defesa tem feito um bom trabalho. Esperamos fazer aqui um bom trabalho, poder não sofrer gol, mas podendo também marcar e obviamente ambicionar a vitória.
Yes, from the small Portuguese I learned from that, he said, despite the fact that the Super Eagles have great strikers that have scored very well in Europe and even for Nigeria, that his defense is prepared to stop the Super Eagles. We're talking more about that when we come back from this quick message from our sponsors. We'll be right back after this break.
The African Qualifiers, powered by Integral.
Equipped with one of the world's most sophisticated technology, we're everywhere, with an option of over 90,000 live sport events every year. And right now, over 1 million people are waiting, calculating, staking, watching, and then winning big. Because we belong to the winning team. Play better with Bet Naija. more than a bet.
I realized very young that I was different. My parents tried to enroll me in school.
And the headmaster said, I don't want a child that will come and scare away other children. Madam, take your child home. I wept like I had never wept that day. MTN came in at a point when I was at my lowest. I got a call.
And it turned the story around.
They had found a hospital in South Africa. They had found a doctor. Till date, Great has undergone 17 surgeries. And MTN has not turned their back on Great since then.
Now that I'm graduating, I feel very excited. I'm ready for the challenges life has to push towards me.
You call someone great, and then you expect that he has to go through something so that that name will be real.
I'm bold, I'm confident, you can also do it.
Mommy is ready to receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol, Dettol Sure.
We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
That's not a big deal. This is a big deal.
Get the year's biggest deals at the Jumia Black Friday sales. Jumia. Every day is Black Friday.
MTN, the official communication sponsor of the Super Eagles.
The African Qualifiers, proudly brought to you by Bet Niger and powered by Integral.
We count down to some exciting moments as the Super Eagles of Nigeria take on the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde here in Teslim Balogun Stadium. As you can see the pictures live, there are fans in the stadium waiting for the battle to happen. Remember, this African qualifier is brought to you by Bet Niger and proudly supported by MTN, the official communications partner of the Super Eagles, Coca-Cola, the official soft drink partner of the Super Eagles, and Dettol, the official hygiene partner of the Super Eagles. Remember, you can protect your family by using Dettol to clean every surface in your house and take care of your baby.